So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first.
Ladies, gentlemen, Zabrak species of a heavily tattooed age, welcome to Hell of a Pilot episode 38.2. No, 38 version 2. Now with better interactions and less stress. With me tonight, and as always, at Mike's house, on my right, Mike.
Yes, I am at my house, as per usual.
I was about to say, you guys do that interaction every time.
I know.
It's something that fans have come to expect.
It's how we start the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Like at Mike's house.
Yeah, it's like every late night host has that like kind of like opening monologue and the shtick. That's our shtick. But anyway, yes.
Yeah, I'm just not creative, so I just use the same thing over again. And Lockie is here as well. Hello, Lockie. How are you, my friend?
I'm pretty good. You know, it's always nice to be at Mike's house.
On the couch.
Yeah.
God, do we have permanent dints of this couch yet?
I think we usually end up in the same spots. Because I always just come in and sit down straight away and set the computer up, so I just naturally sit in the same place.
Yeah, I like sometimes not even when I'm home. I just come in. Oh, hey, Lucky, hi.
I'm like, oh, darling, you're back again.
Yeah, it's like it's Sunday morning. Why are you here? This is not awkward.
You don't think I go home after these, do you?
Explains all the
Just hides under the stairs until you're gone.
Oh, that's right.
Eat your food.
I have to live under the stairs till I get accepted to wizard school, alright?
I read a book about it once. Yeah. It was in the non-fiction section. Maybe someone put it there like by mistake. But we're not going to talk about that wonderful fandom. Is it a wonderful fandom? I don't know.
Franchise?
Well, I haven't read the books or well, I read some of the books.
You haven't read Harry Potter?
Didn't finish it. I read up to book 4 and I was like, yep, done. And I didn't even watch the movies.
I did the opposite of you with the movies. I read all the books and I got up to a certain point with the films and I went, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, there's a guy, he's wizard, he said that's pretty cool. And if you're a fan of Harry Potter, that's cool. But we're not going to talk about Harry Potter. You've come to the wrong podcast. We're going to talk about spaceships. What are we going to talk about in the show today, Mike?
That's a really good question, actually, because we are overflowing with FFG news.
Oh, God. The floodgates have opened.
Do you remember...
The town wasn't ready. They warned us.
Cast your mind back to when we were first starting out the show, when we would have agonising conversations about how are we ever going to make enough content?
Yeah. What are we going to do? Like, we'll come up with something. It's only once every 2 weeks.
And we would used to sit there and sacrifice to the old gods, hoping FFG would drop a news, like a news item or something like that. But no, now it's just like... It's like my phone is exploding with FFG alerts.
Every time I turn on my phone, it's like, oh, there's a new article. Oh, that's good.
So I guess we're talking about all the news that's come out of Gen Con, all the recent announcements. We've got factions, we've got TIE fighters.
We have a local store, General Games, that did live coverage of Gen Con, and they were updated. Like, if you follow their page, it was like, bang, bang. I was like, wait a minute. They're not based overseas. Apparently, I just flew over there and just wanted to go to Gen Con. I'm like, one day, I'll be that cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'll go overseas to see some board games and card games and miniature ships.
So I think we agreed we'd talk about the news. We'd also talk about what it means with all these factions coming in.
Oh, yes.
So I think that's a worthy conversation to have.
That will be an interesting conversation. We had a brief discussion about it earlier and mixed feelings, to say the least. But you know what I am excited about? Are we talking about the other ships?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about the TIE Fighter.
The Mining Guild TIE Fighter?
I'm so excited for the Mining Guild.
Cool.
Congratulations, TIE Fighter. You're now the doorknob of the game. Everyone's had a turn. That's such a bad joke.
I dig it. I'll allow it. I'm very excited about Scum for myself. I'm really excited about Scum for 2nd edition, possibly because I didn't play them as much as the other two in 1st edition, but they but now getting the conversion kit means I sort of have everything. It'll be much easier to use it all, and I just I want to play with some mining guild ties.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. There is, God, that's it's also a really cool model. Just is. Moving on to.
I really hope the model is the same kind of like aggressively bright yellow as the CGI render we've seen.
Yes,
that looks amazing.
Yeah. Moving on to Resistance. What's happening over the Resistance? Aside from bad movies. we got the spaceship we all talked about like for ages, and we're like, does that exist? Does it not exist? Maybe it exists. Wait.
What I expected, like before we knew second edition was going to happen, what I expected was the A-Wing would come with a fix for the A-Wing, and we'd all be flying A-Wings, and it'd be great. But what's actually happened is a whole other faction. So as just a person who plays normal Rebels, you can't use the new A-Wing. So I don't know how I feel about that.
Hot diggity dog. What else are we talking about, Mike?
In tonight's exciting installment of lore, it's my turn.
Yeah.
And I am going to be delving into not into the second, not into the third, but into the First Order.
that just like that joke.
Yes,
it's a bit of a stretch.
It's right. I thought of that before.
Again, I'll allow it. I reckon the First Order is a knowledge gap for a lot of people. So
Yes.
I was happy when you said this was going to be.
Well, look, I'm really not going to rehash stuff that we know. I'm going to delve into the unknown and do a little bit of speculation.
Oh, excellent. I do like a good speculation. This intro has gone long enough because it's once again, I think I said this for like last 3 or 4 episodes. Oh, it's going to be a big episode. Listen, strap in. Here we go. Oh, and it's on with the show.
Alright, so this is usually the part of the thing where I say all the stuff, but for the first time since we've been doing the show, I haven't written a HoloNet news. I haven't been able to get around to it. I've had some family obligations, just had a lot going on, and I thought writing a bad HoloNet news that was lame would be worse than not doing one at all. So
Trouble in the galaxy. Loki has failed to write a HoloNet news. Owen has been called in to write something terrible, and I did not.
Citizens, I'm here to replace Loki.
Fight! All right.
In tonight's HoloNet news, Loki announces a brand new union.
a brand new union. Oh well, yeah.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah, I mean, part of there have been several things going on in the family. Some of them good, some of them bad. But one of the things is that I got engaged last week.
Hey.
So yeah, it was really the last day I had free to write HoloNet news, and I thought. I probably won't.
Last day free. You know what? I think I'll just ask someone to marry me instead.
Yeah.
You know, that's fair.
I mean, but you know how that feels.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to see the decision.
I don't know yet.
I want to see the decision tree on that thinking process.
Yeah.
You know, where you get to that point in the node where you go, yes, no.
Maybe, I don't know. Can you repeat the question?
Yes. But yeah, no, I think that's fantastic news. And can we?
Oh, all right. I wasn't going to do it today.
Oh, you don't have to.
I may as well. Well, funny story. I'm also just got engaged today.
So I beat you by 3 days.
Yes,
4
you
days,
did.
an amount of days.
Yes.
So there we go.
Yeah, another exciting news. My partner's in the other room, so if you want to follow me, listeners, I'm just going to go propose to her right now. Honey!
I wasn't sure if you were being serious there for a second.
Sorry, does Laura listen to these shows? Because that's mean.
Oh, we should actually
sorry,
start.
she doesn't know I do it. So
we should
fine.
actually start with this show.
We should go on. Anyway.
Okay, let's What do you guys want to talk about first?
Okay, well, I think we got 2 options. We can either talk about the Mining Guild TIE Fighter, because that's the least to talk about, or we can talk about the A-Wing first, because we can't talk about the FO first, the SF first.
Alright, we're talking about the Mining Guild TIE
Yeah, I think
because
that's exciting.
Sick.
hot damn, I am excited for this.
Yes.
Ooh, I hadn't actually seen its dial yet.
Okay, so the difference between the The modified TIE LN fighter and the classic Imperial TIE LN fighter is the 5 straight is red instead of white, and there is no 4K turn.
Okay.
The sort of canon explanation for that is likely to be has part of the wings missing. The wings on a TIE fighter are what powers it, so there's less guts in the engine, so it can't move as fast.
Makes sense.
Or they just change the dial to make less faction overlap or something.
Yeah.
To give it a little bit more different flavour.
They did say in the article that it was due because, as all good listeners will know, the TIE Fighter's wings they're just like solar panels.
Solar panels,
And they're just like, well, they just removed like a sixth of a solar panel. Sixth of all the solar panels. So, like, I guess it goes that much slower. But what else what does it do instead? Cooler stuff, because it can go over rocks.
Yeah.
Which is so exciting.
The special ability, while you move, you ignore asteroids. That's cool. So it's asteroids, not all obstacles.
Ooh.
So if your opponent puts down a rigged cargo chute or a debris field, you're still copying that, but you can take the big rocks instead of the small ones and pop them down. And you can, like, a big part of deployment is, okay, where can I put this ship so it won't hit a rock? You know, Mining Guild TIE don't care about that. Mining Guild TIE deploys what Mining Guild TIE wants to deploy.
Yes. And you know what? Those big rocks that you've been meticulously placing down, I give zeros over.
Also, if you have Beckett, you can just be like, I deploy and I don't care about rocks. Also, I move one of yours. Also, I have Boba Fett crew and I'm deploying on a rock. Also, Scum doesn't really care about rocks. Come think of it.
Firstly, they were blowing them up, and
Scum gives no rocks. Okay.
first they were blowing them up, and now they're just living with them.
Yeah.
Becoming one with the rocks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, look, I'm excited for this. I'm hoping the model is going to be pretty sexy. But we should talk about the named pilot that we can see there, which is Captain Seavor. So somebody
The
might have to
noisy
read that.
nuisance.
Yeah, somebody might have to read that for me because I'm too far away.
While you defend or perform an attack before the dice are rolled, if you are not in an enemy fire's bullseye arc, you may spend one charge. This is a charge that continuously builds every turn. If you do, the enemy gains one jam token.
Awesome.
Hot damn!
So it's initiative 3. So if this one was I6, it would be really painful.
Yes.
But it's sort of mid tier, which is interesting because you can give an opponent a jam by getting shot. You can give an opponent a jam by shooting, and this guy is in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
I find it really
beautiful.
interesting.
I really dig this because what it means is that enemies, like the way he is, he can dodge out of the way of basic people. But you know, you'd normally want to dodge out of the way of you want to be dodging out of the way of them anyway. So that's what he's doing. But he's on a low enough pilot skill initiative, whatever you want to call it, that people will be going after him. Ships will be going after him, and they will be forced to take the actions to maneuver to not let that proc.
Yeah.
So you're forcing someone to spend their actions in changing their movements or taking a jam token.
Well, the way I've been thinking about it is I don't see this being a swarm. This ship being a swarm. I imagine it as being, okay, I've brought my really big damage pieces and I've got a few points left. I'll put in one Mining Guild TIE kind of thing. So say you choose Seavor, and your squad is sort of arranged in such a way that an enemy ship, maybe an ace that needs its tokens to stay alive or something, just by coincidence, the only one of your ships it can hit is this one, but one of your good ships can hit the ace. The ace is going to be like, well, I don't want the jam token. Do I even shoot this guy?
And I think in some respects it reminds me of the those Rebel convoy squads where you had Captain Rex, who was really, really annoying with his suppressing fire feature. It's kind of like this thing is going to go, I'm going to fly over a rock and take away one of your tokens. Yeah. And then, as you say, Owen, then you're forced to chase the thing down because it's going to be annoying as hell.
And I love the fact that this pack comes with trick shot.
Yes.
So you can fly towards a rock that has an enemy behind it, shoot through it and get extra dice. And I mean, a TIE fighter only has 2 red dice.
Yeah. So third's always good.
And on the next turn, just fly over that rock that you were facing, or K-turn over it and trick shot again.
We should mention that this says while you move, you ignore asteroids, not when you stop.
Yeah.
So you can't land on an asteroid and be like, haha, got you now. No.
Yeah.
That's not how this game works.
Because you don't have
No,
them.
you don't have them now at all.
All right. There are some. I believe there's 6 pilot cards. I think it's four unique and 2 generic. But yeah, I don't see it as swarmy.
No, I don't
I
think
could
so.
be wrong.
This will be, I think, in the same veins as Captain Rex,
Yeah.
where it'll be you will stick a tie in because it'll be cheap,
Yeah.
and why not?
Yeah.
So we got from the Gen Con videos a couple more of the named pilots. I've tried to write out what I think their abilities are. So at Initiative 2, Overseer Yushin. Before a friendly ship at range 1 would gain a disarm token. If that ship is not stressed, you may spend 1 charge. If you do, that ship gains 1 stress instead.
Did we see if it's a regaining charge?
We don't know that yet. I don't think it would be OP if it did regenerate.
No.
It's Initiative 2, and, at the end of the day, it's a TIE fighter that could be fairly easily killed. So, as far as I'm aware, we don't have a scum ship with slam, but there's plenty that have reload, and also regenerating shields with Astromechs gets you a disarm token now. So if you have this TIE fighter near a Y-wing that's got a prime firing arc on somebody, and it wants to regen a shield, this guy's like, yeah, okay, also you get to shoot.
Which is pretty good.
Yeah, but look, I'm gonna
And this
say
is also after. So I should. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
This will also happens after. This is when a friendly ship would be shooting. No, when it gains a disarm
Against
token.
disarm token. So because it's Initiative 2, the disarm token's going to happen either at movement with the Astromech or at actions with the reload.
Yeah, so it's
So it's
after
going to
the action.
be
Yeah.
valuable to the higher ones in it. So Mike, you were going to say...
Yeah, I mean, it basically it turns your semi-automatic into an automatic. Basically, it's a support ship in that respect, but it sort of reminds me of a lot of those other support ties which have been in the game for a long time. You like your chaser and like your other,
Once again, this will be a points filler. This won't be a won't be like I build my army around this.
And it's restricted to being into range 1.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I think that's probably, I think that's good for
At
balance.
range 1,
Yes.
that also means no bumping.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, range 0, that's a thing, yeah.
So, look, it could be fun, but I don't know. I think, if you've got a ship, how many times are you going to be in a position with that reload? Anyway, let's just say I'm on the fence.
Yeah,
I'm on the fence.
You've mentioned Rebel convoy lists and reps.
Yeah.
And I know as a person who flies Rebels a lot, trying to keep formation with, you can usually get about 4 ships in a Rebel squad in first edition, one of which is Captain Rex. Trying to fly 4 ships in formation when 3 go at the same speed and 1 is fast, it's not easy.
Yeah.
So I know I've just mentioned that Y-Wings, for example, your TIE fighter might not be at range 1 of your Y-Wing, but I reckon with practice, and if you really have a desire to get this ability to work, you'll make it work.
But do you...
All right,
Does
listeners,
anyone-
if you pull this off...
No, it's not that if you pull it off. If you build a squad around it.
Yeah, if you build a squad around it,
Give
sure.
you a
if you-
handshake.
Yeah, you will.
Firm Australian handshake.
Hey, better than that, a shadow.
Oh,
that is-
firm Australian shout out.
In pure strine.
Sorry, an Australian shout out is an accent that probably most people can't understand. We'll just give you a normal shout out.
Oh, damn.
The other named one that we know of is Foreman Proach. Before you engage, you may choose one ship in your bullseye arc at range 1 to 2 and gain, this part's speculation, 1 stress token. If you do, that ship gains 1 tractor token instead.
See, that's good.
So
I mean,
all of
Yeah, that one I like.
thematically appropriate.
Yeah.
My God, that's good.
So-
Tractor but
one-
reduced agility. Like,
Well, not only reduced agility,
Yep.
it's this guy wants to be near the rocks because the ship
Yeah.
chassis works that way. It's maybe going to have trick shot and it's going to tractor beam somebody onto a
Oh,
rock.
I dig it.
Yeah,
Absolutely dig it.
these things are going to be so much fun because you're just going to squirrel around the asteroids like a bunch of angry hornets.
Yeah, this is...
And they're actually black and yellow.
This is
Black and
pure
yellow.
scum.
This is kind of like what's your strategy? I'm just gonna,
I'm gonna throw on the asteroid. Why? 'Cause I can.
Yeah.
Will it work? Maybe.
No.
Before you engage, you may choose. Before you engage, you may choose one ship in your bullseye arc at range 1. So we don't know what's his PS. Any idea?
Okay, we don't know what the initiative is, and out of all the text, the only thing I'm not 100% sure about is what token you gain. But you do have to gain some sort of token.
I do dig that it's range 1 and 2.
Yes.
And I dig if it's either a really high PS or a really low PS, and I'm assuming it's probably a low initiative.
I'm thinking lower, like a 2 or something. But again, that's speculation.
But once again, we're seeing this game where these ships have come in, and it's not really that they're gonna do a whole lot. It's just you can't ignore them.
Correct.
Because it's like, you're in my firing arc.
Yeah. And I'm also encouraged by the fact that so many abilities are triggered by the bullseye firing arc, not just in this faction, but for anything, because again, for me, that will encourage flying.
Well,
Lockie seems concerned.
No, sorry, I agree. I agree completely, Mike.
Like, it is good flying. It's going to encourage better flying than just... Yeah. Anyway.
I was just wondering if I should maybe change something I was just saying. Like, I don't think there'll be a swarm of just the mining guild ties, but if you fly Seavor and Proach at the same time, depending on what the initiative levels are, you could tractor you could tractor with Proach somebody into or out the relevant location with Seavor, and all of a sudden they've got a tractor and a jam. But that's going to be so annoying to try and do. It's probably not going to.
That's okay. And with Captain Seavor's when he attacks as well. It's not just if he's being attacked. It's
when you defend or perform an attack. So
you move. Yeah, that's cool. I think that.
I'm encouraged. I think they're fun.
I'll buy it.
Yep, I'll buy that for $1.
I'll buy that. Cool. RoboCop reference.
Yeah.
Geez, RoboCop's a good movie. I haven't seen the new one.
We've spoken a lot tonight, even before the show, about good old movies.
Yeah.
That RoboCop's one of them.
The original RoboCop, yes.
RoboCop 2 actually is also quite good.
Yeah, I saw those in the cinema. I'm that old.
I should see it. Is that when he's black?
No.
What?
Wasn't there a RoboCop that was just black? No, that's the new RoboCop.
I haven't seen the new one.
Once again, it's actually a lot of people give it bad. Say, it's so horrible, but I didn't mind it.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next one.
All right. Well, that's all we've got with the TIE fighters.
Yes.
So, let's talk about new A-wings.
All right, show me your disappointing face. That's not a disappointing face, Lockie.
I'm not disappointed. It's just
I'm not mad.
No, I'm not mad.
I'm not disappointed. I'm actually just straight mad.
I guess I thought that the Resistance A-wing, when it came into the game, would be a buff for the Rebel A-wing because they'd both be in the same faction. But now it's not that way. So we don't know for sure what the stats are, but it's likely that it's exactly the same as a normal A-wing, maybe with an extra hull.
So we don't even know that. Wow, yeah.
It's going to be a 2 red dice primary because the firing arc, it can rotate. So the A-wing and the TIE SF, instead of having firing arcs that are forward and backward and active at all times, like the arc and the way the first edition SF is, it has a rotating firing arc. So if your rotating firing arc is lined up with the forward-facing normal arc, I think
gosh darn it, Lockie, does that happen in lore?
Well, I have a feeling. I mean, you guys know
he sets him up.
Alley-oop! Right. So, I mean, you guys know what Star Wars lore is like normally. Over the years, it's been so different. Lots of people have said different stuff. It's kind of all over the place. But there are some things in Star Wars lore that suggest that the A-wing cannons, which are mounted on the side, can rotate 180 degrees. So what they've done is just canonize that the RZ2 A-wing can do that. So now what we've got is the refined gyro stabilizers as the baked-in ability. So you can rotate your mobile firing arc indicator only forward and backward. After you perform an action, you can gain a stress to rotate the arc. So the only linked actions that it has is one of the normal actions in its action bar, and it can only link into rotating the firing arc.
Oh, okay.
And the SF does that as well, and we'll talk about that again in a minute. So, yeah,
So what do we know about this ship aside from that?
All right. Well, Taliesin Lintra, or Tally, the female A-wing pilot from Last Jedi.
Yep.
While an enemy ship in your bullseye performs an attack, you may spend 1 charge. If you do, the defender rolls 1 additional die. So,
why would they want to do that?
Well, I have a feeling she was an escort pilot. Her job was to escort the bombers. I think the generic A-wings in this pack are the something escorts. So I think she's going to be tricky because she's a support ship, but a fast-moving one.
And an Initiative 5
Initiative
too.
5, yeah. So I think it's supposed to be like you line it up so that if you know that you've got a tasty ship the enemy wants to shoot, you get a ship they're likely to attack with, get it in the bullseye arc, and then spend it, and the friendly gets a buff. It doesn't preclude it from being used on herself, so if she's just in a straight joust and someone's shooting her, then
You may spend
hooray.
1 charge. If you do, the defender rolls 1 additional die.
Yeah, just the defender against the attack. So you have to get an enemy unit in your bullseye arc, and then the person who is defending against an attack from that attacker gets an additional die.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
The other one is Lulo Lampa. Also initiative matched, so if you want to fly them together, it's really handy. While you defend or perform a primary attack, if you are stressed, you must roll 1 fewer defense die or 1 additional attack die. So it's baked in expose.
Haha, that's kind of cool.
I don't mind that.
While you defend... Oh, yeah, cool.
So there's only one way to self-stress, as far as I know. There's only 3 red maneuvers on the dial, so this ability is maybe not gonna happen heaps. But if you K-turn or sloop behind someone, ideally they won't be able to shoot you, and you all of a sudden get a buff with your red dice. It's primary only, so you can't use a missile with it. I don't know how powerful it's going to be, but I don't think it's bad. It's just going to take practice to use it.
Once again, it'll be the expose issue. Like, why would you want to roll 1 fewer defense die?
Well, expose and expose.
It took the place of pilot skill.
It cost 4 points and it took an EPT.
Yeah.
This ship. It's just on there, so it does, and it's not an action either. Expose, it took an action. You had to pay points for it, and it took your EPT. So,
and these pilots, assuming even their aces, they're going to have EPTs. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So
it's
look.
You maybe will just take it just for the initiative level. I don't know.
Yeah,
look, I'm intrigued. I like flying. I prefer flying fast, fragile ships. That's why I like the Imperial. I love A-Wings. I think they're a joy to fly. I was really, like you, Lockie, I was really, really looking forward to the Resistance A-Wing because I was hoping it would get a buff, like a weapons buff or something like that, an attack buff.
This thing doesn't have any repositioning that we can see.
Yeah.
It has...
It'll have...
It has to have something.
It'll have barrel roll.
It has to.
Yeah, because that's the thing, the A-Wing, you need that, as you say, and the repositioning. I'm waiting to see more.
All right, so by the looks of it, from my wild speculation, the boxes themselves that have the actions are quite small. It looks like there might be 1 or even 2 more things that are hidden. At the moment, we have a focus.
That's focus. That's evade. That's target lock or just lock.
And then there's going to be 1 or 2 more.
The original A-Wing had boost, so this probably has boost.
Yep. And I guess it'll probably have boost. I don't even know if it'll have barrel. Oh, dearie me. What a great time. It has... Is that prime thrusters?
Yeah, well, I've got notes about prime thrusters elsewhere if you want to look at them. But there's heroic. Heroic is the Resistance faction unique pilot talent. One of you guys wants to...
While you defend or perform an attack, if you have only blank results and have 2 or more results, you may re-roll any number of your die. Hey, that's
right.
Pretty cool.
That's okay.
If you completely blank out, you can do it again.
It's if you only blank out, it's not unique either. So heroic can be on multiple ships, and it's 2 or more. So
They'd be good on a low agility ship. That's a good.
Yeah, you kind of. I guess you kind of want to put it on an agility, a 2 agility ship.
That's what I'm saying, like a 1 or 2 agility ship.
It can't be on a 1 agility ship because it says you must have 2 or more.
2 or more, sorry. So correct, yeah, of course, yeah. So on a 2 agility ship.
Sticking it on, the further you go up the ladder, like you give it, into a 3, I guess only 3 agility ship,
it's unlikely
it
to
becomes less likely. Yeah. I mean, it's still quite unlikely. No, actually, it's not really unlikely. What is it, like you have a 50-50 chance of getting it wrong, so you have a 25% chance of this proccing each time you're shot with 2 green die. And then you'll re-roll that, and then, yeah, that's alright.
If it's not priced too much, it's useful.
Well,
does that say that this thing is going to have 2 agility?
No, it doesn't.
It'll have 3.
Yeah, it doesn't show its attack value, its agility value, or hull, shield. Does it have shields? I don't know.
It'll probably have 3 hull and either 2 or 3 shields, because the A-wing has 2 and 2.
Yeah.
This ship will need to be physically buffed over the original one, and 2.0 is leaning more towards hull, so it's likely to be 2, 3, 3, 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Is how I.
That makes sense.
But we.
Hey, Rose is in the game now.
Rose and Phasma, and Joff Sea Strikers in an X-wing. He's from the Bloodlines novel with the creation of the Resistance.
Yep.
Cool.
Let's see. Finn's a gunner now, which makes sense.
Yeah.
His ability seems to be exactly the same, but gunner. So.
Yeah. Is that all we got? Doo-doo. Hey,
right.
Prime Thrusters.
So tech is something that's equipable only by sequel era ships. It's still in the game. So primed thrusters and targeting synchronizer. So primed.
We'll talk about prime thrusters because it is in this game.
Right. So primed thrusters was 1 point only in first edition. We don't know the costs of it now. But it's while you have 2 or fewer stress tokens, you can perform barrel roll and boost actions even while stressed. Originally, it was 3. So I think the trend for second edition is to slightly depower everything, just everything.
Well, there's no push the limit. There's no So
targeting synchronizer. While a friendly ship at range 1 to 2 performs an attack against a target you have locked, that ship ignores the lock attack requirement. So much simpler than targeting synchronizer in first edition, which is 3 points and never got used because it was a word salad that I found confusing from the first time I saw it. It's in second edition. It's good. I think people will use it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I dig it. What's next, sir? Moving on to the Typho.
Yes.
Well, do you want to finish? We're talking about the Resistance?
Yeah, we'll finish the Resistance.
Sweet.
Okay. In the Resistance, we have the T-70 X-Wing. So, Black 1 is still in the game, as Black 1 the title, and I think it's close to what we all imagined, that the big engine thing from the last Jedi.
Yeah, the booster.
Yeah, so after you perform a slam action, lose 1 charge. Then you may gain 1 ion token to remove 1 disarm token. If your charge is inactive, you cannot perform the slam action. So when you equip Black 1, your T-70 X-Wing gains slam. It has 1 charge. So once per game, you can slam, take an ion token, and still be able to shoot.
Well, that's good. It could be the god shot when you need it.
Exactly. And depending on how expensive it is, you might never use it, but having it in your back pocket, why not?
Yeah.
You could use it to just get away, even.
Well, look. I mean, when you think about and I don't know. You think when you used to have either inertial dampeners or slam on the YV, it was a once only shot. But when you used it, you used it and it was meaningful.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, well, it has to be. So I could see that being, potentially useful. I like the flavour of it at the very least.
Can we talk about Poe Dameron?
Yes.
Well,
please.
All right. Well,
yes.
if we're going to get our teeth really into Poe Dameron, we'll just quickly cover that Eloasti is in the game. We don't know what his ability is yet.
I like LO.
Lieutenant Bastion at Initiative 2. After a ship at range 1 to 2 is dealt a damage card, you may acquire a lock on that ship. That seems to be, so if a higher initiative ally damages an enemy, you can get a lock on the enemy.
So nice synergy. Yep.
Yeah, you can get a lock on an ally. We don't know exactly why you would want to do that yet.
Yeah.
There's Blue Ace is back in the game, named something else. You can use the hard templates to boost. Black 1 doesn't take target locks away anymore, which is very frustrating. And now Poe Dameron. The rest of the time we'll talk about Poe Dameron.
Dear Lord. After you perform an attack, you may spend...
After you perform an action.
After you perform an action, you may spend 1 charge to perform a white action, treating it as red. Oh, here's push the limit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Push the limit's back.
Yep.
That was cool. Was that a fun run, everyone? Did you enjoy that, not having push limit? Well, it's back, and Poe Dameron has it, and...
It's back on 1 chassis.
1 chassis on 1 pilot.
Yeah.
At I6.
At a really high. Whoa.
I expect fleets of Poe Damerons.
Yeah.
Well, he's unique. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
what I'm
know.
saying.
I don't see it as a bad thing.
No, I don't. It makes sense. You're gonna see Poes on the table. And that's what what you want to see.
You always see Poe on the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah. Well,
You do. We don't know the costings yet.
no, you're right.
I expect him to be expensive.
Yes.
Very. You will be paying for that ability.
Yes, you will.
So the defenders in 2.0 are like 70, 80 points or something like that. So
Damn.
I reckon he'll cost a similar amount to Darth Vader.
yeah,
Yeah, I could see that.
in the 60s. Yeah.
Because he's the same initiative. He's got, physically the ship has like roughly the same amount of hull on it. The actions are fairly similar, and both of them have the ability to take multiple actions in their own way.
Yeah.
The reason I say the actions are fairly similar is because like Vader can't evade. He can barrel roll with the S foils. The X-wing can barrel roll, and anyway.
Yeah. Well, okay. So with the with integrated S foils, which is closed, it has the barrel roll action.
Yeah, and this thing is tough, man. It's got 3 shields and 4 hull.
Yeah. The S foils for the T-70 seem to be a tiny bit better than the T-65, which makes sense. While you perform a primary attack and the S foils are closed, if the defender is not in your bullseye firing arc, roll 1 fewer attack die. So normally
Yes.
the X-wing is just roll 1 fewer attack die. But if you can line somebody up straight with the T-70 and your S foils are closed, you just shoot.
I'm actually kind of excited to fly this.
That's
Yeah.
I mean I don't.
You might even want to keep
This-
them closed, but
Yeah.
with that barrel roll action,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah,
but
I mean
you're-
this.
sorry?
I think this. I love aces. I love flying aces, and to this calls to me.
Yeah.
I have to say. And Owen, I think you're about to say yes. Keep them closed because again,
Because then you
fly it right.
Yeah, fly it right. Once again, we play the old boost barrel roll action. You're out of someone's bullseye arc, they're in yours. Hey, look, I'm still shooting at you.
Especially since, as far as we know, second edition hasn't got flight assist astromech, which was very popular in first edition because it did a job that it really needed to do. But yes, the thing about the T-70 that I find a little bit weird is its baked-in ability. I did not see that coming.
Agreed.
Weapon hardpoint. You can equip a cannon, a missile, or a
torpedo.
Or torpedo.
That
Cannon.
doesn't-
So we don't know if it
Yeah.
has a torpedo as standard as other X-Wings do, or whether it, maybe it always has one and you can add a second one, or maybe it doesn't have one and you have to choose it. But I would never have thought X-Wing with missile or cannon. Now, maybe it's because, look, a missile...
Slap an X-wing on top of a heavy laser cannon.
It makes
my
sense.
God, yeah.
Well, that also kind of makes sense. Like in first edition, it's bananas. But let's think about second edition and the fact that these are new factions that don't have
Yeah.
other ships around. Like it needs to be able to take concussion missiles or cluster missiles, which in second edition do splash damage. In second edition, we're going to be seeing a lot of swarms, and the Resistance is a faction that has 4 ships in it when it launches.
So this is a toolbox. It gives you the
Yeah.
ability to build different kinds of builds with different flavors. So I agree. And again, I'm excited because I want a heavy laser cannon on my Poe Dameron.
Well, yeah, like HLC is now primary, is now
HLC Poe is going to be real
only.
Yeah.
And you can barrel
if
roll
only,
boost with this, and it doesn't have it doesn't
as
have,
if you needed to be able to both barrel and boost with the heavy laser cannon. Oh, well, it is Poe.
Yeah, and Poe with PTL is going to be like, okay, I have an HLC, focus target lock, you are going to die.
Yeah.
But
that's a nice ship you have there.
Shame if something would happen to it.
The X-wings need this because the faction doesn't have B-wings for cannons or anything like that. Like, the only way they could get
good
these
ships
weapons
is the
in the
word
game.
you're looking for.
Well, yeah. We'll talk about that in a minute. But so Ray Gunner appears to have a similar thing to her pilot ability. So the Ray crew is now a gunner instead of just crew. She has one force. When you defend or perform an attack, if the defender is in your mobile arc, you can spend one force and change a blank result to an evade or to a hit.
Yeah, cool.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that I like that. I think it seems balanced. It seems like something people would actually want to use.
Yeah. So basically, it's going to be the Resistance is going to be the T-70 plus Falcon faction.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
That's pretty much it.
No one's flying those A-wings. I'm sorry.
People flew Ray Poe quite a lot,
and it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
it was thematic, and it was on the table, and people were like, "Hey, I know those ships."
Ray's pilot ability, seems to be the same. So she'll still be really good with the Finn gunner. So she's got two regenerating force as standard, and she's initiative 5. And I actually
initiative 5.
Yeah, well, she was pilot skill 8 before. So
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yep. That's really high.
Yeah, but look, I think
really
both Ray and Finn are gunners, so I'm assuming you can only equip the one gunner.
Yes.
So that dials down that Ray Finn, so that you had the anyway. But anyway.
What else do we want to talk about?
Well, is that the entire
That's Resistance?
Is that the entire Resistance?
Yes.
I believe so.
First Order.
Okay, First Order.
First Order, as in
Fanatical First Order.
yeah.
Did you see what I did there? That's actually the name of an EPT.
It's the very first
All right,
one.
well, hit us with the EPT then, Mike.
Yes. When you perform a primary attack, if you are not shielded, you may change one focus result to a hit result.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep, I'm
Fanatical.
happy. Yes.
I dig it 100%. I'm
Yep.
in.
Yep.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
And
the
it's
ships-
very, and the art is very triumph of the will.
Yeah.
it's a
kind
bunch of
Starkiller
storm.
base.
Yeah.
So Fanatical, same as Heroic, not unique, so you can put it on anybody you want. And yeah, it kind of challenges the opponent. Oh yeah, it's First Order only.
First Order only, yeah.
Every faction has its unique EPT.
Yeah.
Now. So Fanatical, challenges the opponent. Like, I dare you to damage me. I dare you to take my shields away and make me better.
And in some respects, that's giving out quick draw's ability in a way.
Yeah, now, Quick Draw, I've been wondering about Quick Draw because whether or not Quick Draw is balanced is something I've always been indecisive about, because Quick Draw, like, I've played games against Quick Draw and lost ships because of her in really early game. But I also played a game against a Quick Draw once where I caught her in my arc and none of my ships were in either of hers, and I took all of her shields in one go. Therefore, she had no pilot ability for the rest of the game. So if you get out of luck with Quick Draw, you're out of luck with Quick Draw. But the fact remains, she is powerful.
Yep.
And I was talking to our mate Luke Weston a little while ago, and listeners will remember him from a couple of episodes ago. He flies Quick Draw a lot, and he was thinking that it might, to make it a bit more 2.0-esque, it might be a combination of things like something to do with shields and charges at once is what her ability will rely on. And I think that'd be really good.
Yeah, maybe.
Look, we'll see. I mean,
do we know, aside from, do we know anything about the First Order? Everything else seems to be covered.
Oh no! I got notes on some other things we can move on. Move on to, like, from the spread. We know that Snoke and Phasma are going to be in the game as well.
Yeah.
Phasma takes up one seat. Snoke
takes up two, so that's a Palpatine mirror.
Yeah, Quick Draw and Kylo, both ships that kind of liked having Palp around, but obviously they can't anymore. So I'll be interested to see how they make Snoke different from Palp. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about the A-Wing before the TIE SF is because, it rotates its mobile firing arc, same as the A-Wing.
Which actually makes sense because it can't fire on either side of it because there's, wings in the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's interesting that I think they've left the ARC 170 with a constantly active... Well, yeah, they have. It's
got a gunner.
card. Yeah,
but it's got a rear gunner.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got a crew.
But what I mean is, more importantly, it has a rear firing arc at all times. I think the A-Wing and the SF don't. If I'm reading this correctly, the SF doesn't always have a rear firing arc, I think. Either that or it does, and what you rotate is just a buff.
Yeah.
I'll explain. Special Forces Gunner is a gunner card that we can see. While you perform a primary forward attack, if your mobile arc is in your forward arc, you may roll 1 additional attack die. So that replaces the title from first edition.
Mm-hmm.
After you perform a primary forward attack, if your mobile arc is in your rear arc, you may perform a bonus primary mobile attack. So I'm not sure if I understand this correctly. It seems to me like you can only shoot out the back if that mobile arc is facing backwards. If you face it forwards, you get a buff, so you maybe want to have it facing forwards while you're flying around, and then you only rotate it backwards if you think you're going to get a shot that way.
I don't know about that, but...
I feel like what I just said is confusing. Do you know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean. I don't think so. I think there'll always be a forward-facing firing arc.
I think it would be good if there was one. I just, to me, it seems a little bit ambiguous.
Yeah, you're right. I see what you're saying, but I don't think so. I think there's still going to be always a forward-facing firing arc. You'll always be able to fire out the front, and then you make a choice whether you move your firing arc to get that bonus attack or to get that attack.
But I find the Special Forces Gunner really interesting because it's now a crew instead of a title. So you can put this Special Forces Gunner in there. You don't have to. You could put any generic gunner in there that you wanted, but you probably wouldn't do that. It seems really tailor-made for this ship.
Yeah, and look, one of the strengths I love the Special Forces, especially the control you have with that rear firing arc, because you can just fly past people, and people don't play her as much, but Backdraft was another one of my favourites. I used to fly Vessery, Riyadh, and Backdraft together, and that was a lot of fun.
The mobile firing arc on the SF. One thing we can say is it's probably a fair bit more powerful than the A-Wing, because we got a picture of Backdraft here, and Backdraft's ability is when you perform a mobile primary attack, if the defender is in your rear arc, roll 1 additional die. So it doesn't just give you free crits, but you can roll 3 dice out the back. But the linked actions of the SF, as far as I remember, it's the only ship in the game that the linked action is white.
So you are constantly flipping that firing arc around.
Yeah. So you can focus to rotate arc, you can evade to rotate arc, you can lock to rotate arc, you can barrel roll to rotate arc, and none of that causes any stress. So your firing arc should pretty much always be where you want it to be.
Yeah, you don't need to think about too much about it. Can we read this harpoon turret? Or is it a harpoon turret?
It's
a pod
obscured.
turret.
You can something about your indicator only to your so you can make your mobile turret indicator only to your forward and backward. You must treat your forward equipped missile. I think it's just saying you can only shoot missiles forwards. I think that's all that's.
Yeah, I mean, because it does have a missile slot, so
yeah.
Slapping one of the best things to do in this current iteration is just slap a harpoon missile on a TIE SF and boom, you're good to go.
Yeah. But Backdraft is Initiative 4, which is PS6, which is a downgrade from PS7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet it seems to be around about the right place. I'd say so. You can't... That ability's really good. So you do want them to... Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
4.5.
The SF's gonna be really powerful. Kylo Ren has been taken down slightly to Initiative 5. He was PS9. Initiative 5 is more of a PS8 kind of thing.
Yep.
Blackout is also PS5. They're matched, so if you want to fly 2 silencers, initiative matching is really good. I really like that in 2.0 things can have the same initiative level.
Yeah.
Flying, like sometimes you'll move Kylo first, sometimes Blackout first, makes it really easy. Who knows, like if they make the TIE silencer kind of like the TIE defender sort of level of the first order, you'll be able to fly just these two, say, and it'll be really powerful. Blackout hopefully will get a better ability.
Because look, I love the idea of flying twins of those. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And they look cool on the table.
So
I really like the models, just by the way. Just chucking that out there.
So Kylo is slightly improved. After you defend, you may spend 1 force to assign the "I'll show you the dark side" condition to the attacker, so you don't have to take damage.
Yeah, that's less punishing.
I'll show you the dark side is still in the game, which at this point I'm really not happy about, but they'll probably balance it somewhat. Also, auto thrusters is the baked-in ability of the TIE silencer. Seems to be exactly the same as the TIE interceptor. After you perform an action, you may perform a red barrel roll or boost. So you can still get the double reposition with the silencer.
Look, it
it's
looks
going to be
good.
an expensive tie.
Again, it'll be up there probably in the 70, 80 point range, but that's fine. I'll fly to them.
And this is and something that I really like now. Kylo being brought down to Initiative 5 kind of hurts the First Order a bit because they want to be really high PS and AC, but Kylo Ren is Initiative 5 and Rey is Initiative 5. Kylo has 2 Force, Rey has 2 Force, so it's kind of like they're the same in a really significant way. It's like the Last Jedi, that kind of mind combination thing. Now that I'm giving a shout out to our good mate Harry Nick, because until I watched his video about the sequel era stuff, that did not occur to me at all, and he said it and it just like exploded in my brain. that was really cool. Go out and watch all Harry Nick's videos. Now, Kylo Ren, the crew, action, choose one enemy ship at range 1 to 3. If you do, spend 1 force to assign the "I'll show you the dark side" condition to it, so it's the same thing, but you spend force.
And it's a regen force, which I think is just a nice way of balancing it out. So I like.
It's you, and then you. I'll show you.
I like this. I like the introduction of this force mechanic as a resource. So you have to make informed choices as when to make it, when to apply it.
Because it's like the crew with the force adds to a force pool on any ship that it's on. So if you choose to use the force to do Kylo's action, you can't use the force to modify dice when that ship gets into combat. Otherwise it'd be a double bonus. It's the same thing as Darth Vader crew or Kanan crew or something. So if a turn goes by where you don't use Kylo's action, then you can modify a dice with him in combat or defense. So General Hux, when you perform a white coordinate action, something treated as red, you may treat it as red. If you do up to 2 additional ships of the same type, each ship must perform the same action, treating that action as red.
That's
so much
awesome.
better.
That's great.
Yeah, that's really powerful.
Drop him in a swarm.
Yeah, exactly. And that's so good for his character as well.
I really like that. He will go very nice on the First Order shuttle. I can see that.
The
First Order,
and then with surrounding ties.
I
think like the tie shuttle and maybe 4 ties, you'll be good.
And that's really thematic. That's actually going to, it's like the movie. So I like it. I think that, and his other ability was just meh.
What was his other ability?
Fanatical devotion.
Oh, that's
right. It was like you got focused but got stressed or something.
Yeah,
something.
I never even saw anyone use it. Okay, final thing. We'll talk about the TIE fighters, and that'll do it for this stuff, I think.
Yay!
So Commander Malorus, which is one that we got from the Gen Con video. At the start of the engagement phase, you may spend 1 charge and gain 1 stress. If you do, until the end of the round, while you defend or perform attacks, you may change all of your eye results to hit results.
Oof.
So he's Initiative 5, so he's nice and high.
I like it.
We don't know if that force charge recurs. That is glitter stim, I think.
Yeah.
So if it was once per game,
I think it'll be once per game.
but like, it only has 2 red dice, so you wouldn't waste this ability when you were attacking. And yeah, it's I5 and everything, but I reckon it'd be once per game only if it affected friendlies, but it only affects himself. I don't think it would be OP if this regenerated. It'd make him hard to kill, but also...
Yeah, but it'd make him useful.
Exactly. I mean, this is it's also an ace. So
Yeah.
you want him to be, you want it to be useful. You're bringing it for those abilities.
And you can't... It says you may gain 1 stress. You may spend 1 charge to gain 1 stress.
Which is balanced.
Can you stack the stress then?
It doesn't
Can you
say...
stress yourself by doing a red maneuver or whatever you want to do?
It doesn't say if you're not stressed, but
Yeah.
I don't want to double stress my TIE fighter. But that's the thing is, it is just a TIE fighter. It's
Yeah, it's
2,
true, it's just a
3,
TIE fighter.
3, 1.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Don't get
like,
ahead of yourself, yeah.
It's not... If this ability was on a TIE silencer, absolutely once per game. But on a TIE fighter, I reckon let him have it.
Let's go to midnight.
Midnight.
While you defend or perform an attack, if you have a lock on the enemy ship, that ship's dice cannot be modified.
That's a Megalita!
It literally just says a megaliter underneath it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Midnight, a megaliter.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Oh, well.
He's so high. His
He's
pilot
6.
skill's so high.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
it was initiative...
Come back a
It was
Megalita.
pilot skill 8 before.
Yeah.
But now it's the highest.
So, as far as we know, the game doesn't have comm relay in it, and an important
Yes.
thing. While you defend or perform an attack, if you have a lock on the enemy ship, that ship's dice cannot be modified. You can't, if you have juke, you can't juke their dice if you've locked them.
Cannot.
So I think they realized how
abusive that was.
It was borderline NPE. I don't
Yeah.
know if it was. It was borderline.
Yeah.
I think they've just brought it down a little bit to still quite good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for the First Order, I have to say, from what I'm seeing from this.
That ship's dice cannot be modified.
Yeah.
When he was locked, in the old game, was it when he engaged, when a megaliter was shooting, or was it?
It was
all
whatever. It was whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
the ship that you had locked.
So
Oh dear.
yeah, I lost a game once because I was flying. I think it was an Ark, and it like a 1 agility ship, and it a megaliter just kept making it 0 agility, 0 agility, 0 agility. You know, which is frustrating. So.
All right, let's move over to Muse.
Starlight.
At the start of the engagement phase, Epsilon leader. At the start of the engagement phase, you may choose one friendly ship at range 0 to 1. If you do, that ship removes 1 stress token. You can bump to remove stress. Yay!
So
Okay.
yeah, it brought down. I think it was unlimited ones before, but now it's just the 1 ship. I think.
Yeah.
What if you flew this ship near Hux, and Hux made everybody do a whole lot of flibbity-dibbity things and get stressed, and then
And then he takes it away, and then he does it again. Hey,
TIE
that's
Fighter
kinda cool.
probably should be a bit further away from the buff ship than that, shouldn't it?
No, you get that buff ship and you just ram it straight down the center.
If the First Order shuttle still has 4 red dice,
Yeah, you
actually,
ram it
then-
straight down the center, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, and going back to what you said, Owen, you know, maybe what we might see is a First Order shuttle accompanied by 3 or 4 TIE fighters and just kind of flying in formation.
I think that'll work well with Hux, yeah. Because
Yeah.
you just be like, and now you're all doing flipping around and stuff.
Coordinate is a really powerful ability.
It's actually, you're right. It's a really powerful ability.
It's really powerful.
So all of a sudden, all the ships are both evading and focused.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, because double modifications are so desirable in the upcoming game.
We're going to see
Like,
Hux.
Coordinate was already good, but now Coordinate's going to be,
Yeah,
good.
you're coordinating.
Alright, so long shot, initiative 3. While you perform a primary attack at range 3, roll 1 additional attack dice. So 3 dice at range 1, 3 dice at range 3, like semi-trick shot, because your opponent gets an extra green at range 3, you get an extra red. It doesn't negate it, but it helps you.
It's mathematical. It helps you, push a little bit more damage.
Yeah.
I think it's something like
If-
18%.
Yeah,
Yep.
if you're flying First Order and you've got a hole in your squad, just long shot. Like,
Yeah.
Yay. Advanced optics. Oh, this is an upgrade card for it. While you perform an attack, you may spend one of your focus tokens to change one of your blank results to a hit result. once again, this is
Great
going to
with
work
Hux.
really well with Hux.
Hux. I'm saying Hux being sort of, and we don't know what Snoke is going to be, but Hux being a linchpin for a number of squads, I think.
because they're always going to have focus.
Phasma will probably be remove all the shields from your ship and then and
And
ship
then be
dies.
disappointed.
Yeah.
And then shoot all the other ships while they're not
And
looking.
shoot all the other ships. Do we have anything else to talk about for the first sort of a very brief discussion about Clone Wars?
Clone Wars
number
era's
one.
factions, yes.
Number one, huzzah! Clone Wars is coming back. Number two, was that necessary? Did we need ships for Clone Wars?
Look,
Yeah.
I'm not against it because look, the prequels, the story of the prequels I wasn't super into, but there was cool stuff visually
yeah.
in the prequels.
Yeah.
The
Cool
ships
toys.
from the prequels are amazing. The clone
Yeah.
troopers are pretty cool. The Jedi Starfighters, the yellow for some reason. I like the red ones, but whatever. Look, I'm not against it. The game is going to be like. First edition was criticized for its bloat. Adding 2 more factions is
Yeah.
going to add some bloat. But
Two more and I think we had this discussion, and just marketing wise, we're not going to see a whole lot because there's so many more factions. We're not going to see a whole lot of Rebel and Imperial probably for a while.
the original trilogy is pretty much done. I mean, face it, all the ships are already out there.
They're done. They've had their fixes.
They've
They're not
got-
fixing them again.
4 new factions that need to be built up to the existing 3.
Yeah.
For the next year or so, it wouldn't even be sensible for them to release. I mean, they won't do Aces packs. They're going to put out Clone Wars stuff, maybe FO and Resistance stuff, but they need to do that though. Otherwise, who's going to buy them?
Yeah.
Who's going to? Yeah. Anyway,
Well, that was our very brief. We talked a lot about this, and I think we all.
Mike, what do you think about this?
Mike.
I'm neither for nor against. I love some of the designs in those prequel era films. My only concern really is we've got so many factions. Is what if you got a dud faction, or what if you have one faction which is just significantly better?
Doesn't even need to be significantly better.
Or just a little bit
Yeah.
better, incrementally better, and then what you'll see is part of the problem we have now is that if you are playing competitively, or if you're following the meta, there's so much that doesn't get flown, that doesn't get touched.
Lucky, let's have a quick discussion about what you said on the about generic cards. Oh, you need to buy.
Okay.
Yeah. Please.
All right. So,
This is
something
going to
that-
annoy a lot of people.
Yeah, I think something that's been very important to a lot of people, because I read a lot of forum comments. People are really grasping onto this thing that FFG have said that in future there won't be the need for like cross faction purchases, but surely that can only be a short term promise. Like if Rebel and Imperial stuff isn't going to be coming out, this is all speculation. If Rebel and Imperial stuff isn't going to be coming out for a while because they're going to be releasing CIS and Republic stuff, they're going to think of a new upgrade card in say 6 months, and the only way to get it out there is going to be to put it into new packs. So there might be a card that hypothetically say is just mint on the TIE Bomber, and the only way they're going to be able to release it is going to be to put it in the Republic Actus Interceptor pack.
Did you just make that name up?
No, I think that's the ship that Yoda flies. I think.
Oh.
But anyway, what I'm getting at is, like, there's gonna be cross-faction purchases. It's sort of inevitable. It would almost be impossible not to, unless they only release faction-locked upgrades in future.
But that potentially, again, if you have a upgrade which is locked to a faction which is potentially that good, you're going to have a balance. I'm concerned, what I was trying to say before, I have concerns about balance issues with so many factions.
Yeah, I know what you mean about balance issue. I think about it in terms of access. Like, and I don't know how much longer you want us to talk for.
Let's keep going, man.
but,
We got all night.
But I like when I quit Warhammer, and there's in 40k, I think there was like maybe 9 factions at the time that I quit. I collected like two and a bit. So I think of it in terms of access. Like, they're going to make 7 factions within X-Wing, right? Now, I'm not a rich man, but if I wanted to, I could buy some of every faction. I am time poor, so I am not going to play enough X-Wing to use all 7 factions.
That's true.
So there's going to be stuff that
and
not
the release
buys.
schedule and the way it works is so different to other games, where other games, you know, all the upgrades come with the piece that you buy. You know, even things, you know, basic things like Malifaux and don't quote me on that. I haven't actually played Malifaux, but like, you know, obviously things like Warhammer and whatever. You buy the ship, you buy the piece. It has a set of things that can go on it. You don't need anything else.
Correct.
You don't need to go buy a second pack to get an upgrade for this pack. This is a fundamentally different release schedule and a very different business model. And as a result, when you add new factions into the game and you have to you produce more content for those factions, it won't be faction specific all the time. So it's going
to be tricky.
It's going to be tricky. I think, you know, if they can pull it off, congrats to them, FFG. You've done pretty well so far. Let's hope we keep this gravy train rolling. Let's move on to lore. Ooh.
To defeat an enemy, you must know them. Not simply their battle tactics, but their history, philosophy, art.
Hello and welcome to the lore section, where I'm going to be talking about everybody's family-friendly space Nazis, the First Order.
Now, more Nazi than ever.
Yes.
Now
Brought to you by
we're not even pretending they're not.
That's right. Brought to you by Disney. I just want that's why I did that intro. I just want everybody to think about that for a moment, because Disney wants you to buy a plush doll space Nazi.
It's true. Oh, that's funny. I dig that.
Thank you, late stage capitalism. Now,
there's a market for everything.
There's a market for everything.
Space Nazis, one of them. Surprisingly big market for space Nazis.
That's right.
So I thought there's a market for everything is the motto of capitalism.
That's right.
But anyway.
Well, I think at this point of history, Disney and capitalism are the same thing, because they own everything.
It's true.
But actually, anyway, so we are going to talk about the First Order, and I think because there's a big knowledge gap for a lot of people, and I think legitimately, like, you know, which films you enjoy, don't enjoy, whatever. I think there are legitimate questions like, just who the hell are these guys?
Yeah.
Where did they come from?
Why are they so powerful?
Where'd they get all their stuff?
Where did they go, Cotton-Eye Joe?
I saw that joke coming from like a few seconds before. I was like, oh, that's a good joke.
Where did you come from? Where did you go? Yeah. Kylo Ren, yes.
Yes. Cotton-Eye Snoke.
Cotton-Eye Snoke.
A stretch, but I'll give it.
Yeah. And look, I mean, you know, in one way they are a sort of the Empire reborn. But
we need bad guys in our movie.
And also we need bad guys in our movie. Yeah. So that kind of thing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about their early history, but first of all I'm going to talk about their ideology, like what's their shtick, what's their deal? What is it they want? And I did find a nice quote, which is attributed to Kylo Ren, and he says, "It is the task of the First Order to remove the disorder from our own existence, so that civilization may be returned to the stability that promotes progress. The stability that existed under the Empire was reduced to anarchy by the rebellion, which was inherited in turn by the so-called Republic, and will be restored by us."
Wait. That sounds more communist.
He's Loki from the Avengers. I mean, free you from needing to think.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, analogies are rough. Let's just say they're authoritarian.
Yeah, okay. They're big, they're bad, they're authoritarian, they're white and red. Yeah, sweet. Cool.
They're whatever. Okay. So, are they just the bad guys? Yes. Did they want to conquer the galaxy? Well, yes.
Do they have nuance like the Imperials do?
No. But essentially, when you think about the First Order is basically a vast collectivist, authoritarian military state to which everything and everyone is dedicated to one thing and one thing only, and that is the re-establishment of rule over the galaxy. So think of it as Nazi Germany meets North Korea.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what they are, because when you actually what we know about the First Order.
Wait,
society,
can I give a better analogy?
Yeah.
What's the dictator from Italy?
Mussolini.
Wasn't he like, hey, we should reconquer all the Roman territories?
Yes.
Well, he was the original fascist. Fascismo was the party, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And so really, I mean, as you know, like if you know the history of Star Wars, Lucas deliberately patterned the Empire on Nazis because in popular culture they was the big evil, so that was the go-to and everything. And this just continues that trope. So. And really, their name came from. So they originated around the Battle of Jakku, but actually the origins of the First Order predate the fall of the Empire.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we typically think about it as a bunch of Imperials that kind of got their ass kicked at Jakku and just ran off to the unknown regions and like how the hell they do all this kind of stuff. But what actually happened was very early in Palpatine's reign, he decided to start exploring the unknown regions, and he came up with what he called his contingency plan. So, if in his mind, very remote possibility that he could die, how could, or was defeated, having a backup plan as to how to come back and seize back control. So, during the time of those 20 years of his rule, he was sending out explorers, Star Destroyers, troopers, mapping the unknown regions, seeding it with factories, with munitions stores, and all the rest of it. So it was this long-term program to actually build out into the unknown regions. So
I know we talk smack about the Empire and especially the Emperor.
Yeah.
Damn it, he got stuff done.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he knew what
he was a big ideas person.
He made the space monorails run on time.
God, he's just every time. I think we spoke about this a few times. Like, you know, how forward thinking was he? Well, he was had to be forward thinking from episode 1. He was already plotting the downfall of the Republic.
Yeah, he was playing 15-dimensional chess.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, wasn't there like there was a fan theory that he knew about the what were those aliens?
Yuuzhan Vong.
Yeah,
Yuuzhan Vong in the.
And it just, in fact, this is kind of cool how he's like, oh, all right, so what if I do lose? How can I keep my empire and my legacy continuing and flourishing?
See, I didn't like that theory because, I'm not saying it's wrong, I just didn't care for it particularly because it made him seem too benevolent.
Yes, exactly. Like it was a benign dictatorship.
I just want my bad guys to be my bad guys.
Yeah. And also Palpatine, he just loved being evil. Did you see the way he just laughed when he was throwing out that lightning?
Yeah.
He was just having a good time.
He was just having a good time.
Who was the actor who did it?
Ian McDermott.
My God, he is so good.
Oh, he just
loves it. He just loves it.
Yeah.
I've only ever seen Ian McDermott in 2 roles.
Mm-hmm.
Emperor Palpatine slash Chancellor Palpatine. And have either of you guys ever seen the movie Dirty Rotten Scoundrels?
Yes.
No.
Michael Caine and Steve Martin play con men, and Ian McDermott plays the butler.
Yeah.
So Michael Caine's sitting back talking about how he's going to swindle people, and in walks the Emperor to serve his drinks, and it's a bit unsettling.
It was all a ruse.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is happening. So this is actually happening for a significant period of time. Then we come to the Rebellion era, Endor, blah blah blah. We see the death of the Emperor and Vader. Skip forward a year or so to the Battle of Jakku, which a lot of people now know about, which is the final defeat of the Imperial forces. Now, at that point, that's when the remnant of the Empire, or part of the Empire, sign what's called the Galactic Concordance with the New Republic. The politics are a bit messy and it's a bit unclear, but this is what I can best discern. Effectively what happened was the Republic wins. It decrees that there is massive disarmament across the galaxy, including across the remains of the Imperial regions, because there were still parts of the Empire that survived, and there were parts that actually decided to join the New Republic. There were parts that actually decided not to and just retained their military and continued fighting. All the rest of it. So it broke up into like various warlord regions. So different Grand Moffs or different admirals would control different parts of the sector. Now, after the Battle of Jakku, survivors of that battle jumped aboard one of their major Star Destroyers or Super Star Destroyers, the Executor, and fled off into the unknown regions, knowing that Palpatine had all this infrastructure out there. And in fact, if anything, there's a quote by Ray Sloan, who was an admiral at the time, that says, "Our first order is to rebuild, go and rebuild."
Oh, is that why it's called First Order? That's cool.
Yes.
So I thought that the First Order was a big chunk of the imperial leadership sort of ran away and rebuilt. But you're saying that there was already stuff out there for them to use.
Yes.
Okay.
Because there were also lots of Sith artifacts and lots of research laboratories and stuff like that.
How long was Palpatine in power for?
20 years.
So in 20 years, he managed to build basically an entire second empire.
Yeah,
or at least
the infrastructure. So he put out there the infrastructure, and our friend.
I guess you could do that in 20 years.
Yeah, in 20 years.
Space years.
Space years. Yeah. So anyway, so what happened was, in this period as the New Republic is establishing, also lots of other imperial officers and former bureaucrats and scientists and even whole divisions and fleets piss off to the unknown regions. So there's this mass migration of all this. When you think about it, the resources and infrastructure that the Empire had, how many millions, if not billions, of soldiers and bureaucrats and scientists and all the rest of it would have had under command. Many of whom grew up under that, and to them that was the legitimate government.
Oh yeah.
And so from their perspective, it was like, well, we've been defeated, so they kind of all sort of headed off to that area. And so
there was mass disarmament, yeah?
Yes.
How long did it take for the First Order to suddenly come back in? Now that you say that there's mass disarmament, it makes a whole lot more sense about why they're so bloody powerful.
Exactly.
Because no one else has guns. The person with the gun walks in and is all of a sudden in charge.
Exactly. Because at that point, the New Republic and pretty much everyone in the galaxy was sick of war, and they're like, we want to invest in power stations and other kinds of things. We've achieved peace. The Empire's defeated, etc. What they didn't know, because they're in the unknown regions, was these guys fled over there and they established a society which was completely militarized. Every single aspect of society was dedicated to the purpose of.
Lockie's shaking his head. This is unsavory.
I'm listening. I'm just thinking the New Republic, that was really ambitious, bordering on naive.
Correct.
It wasn't it?
In real life, look, I'm more of a pacifist, I think, in my ideology.
Yeah.
For real life.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're talking about fiction now, and I'm thinking the galaxy is huge. You can't just say everything's fine now, we don't need weapons. In a space that big.
Yeah.
Someone is gonna hide and have weapons there, and that's exactly what happened. I
think that's a perfect description. That naivety, because I'll come back to it later. Because when the First Order did come back, just before we get to Return of the Jedi, all the rest of it, and a lot of this stuff's an expanded universe, comics, books, audio, that kind of stuff. I'll come to that in a minute. But essentially, what happened was the New Republic was naive.
Yes.
A lot of people didn't want to believe. So the parallel in history is in the late 1930s when everybody was going, oh, that Hitler guy can't be that bad, let's not worry about it, type thing. But also...
Because actually, you know what? I heard a rumour that in the end he was pretty bad.
Yeah. I know, shocker.
Yeah.
I mean, spoilers, World War II. But also at the same time, the First Order were insidious in actually manipulating behind the scenes. Yes. Lockie just found a troll doll sitting on the couch. It's from my daughter. Anyway, so and they had a very different philosophy to the Empire, particularly when it became to the question of their military strategy. The Empire put an emphasis on quantity.
Yeah.
Lots of TIE fighters, lots of stormtroopers, lots and lots of things.
But the First Order didn't have the infrastructure for quantity, did they?
So they put an emphasis on quality.
Yeah.
I don't know. We talk about dictators a lot in this show, and one guy who we usually don't talk about, Stalin.
Yes.
I think it was Stalin who said quantity has a quality all its own.
True.
Yeah, but he also had a lot more people.
Yeah, he had a lot more people. So initially when the First Order went into the Unknown Regions, they were outnumbered and outgunned by the Republic. So their philosophy, so a good example of that is with the stormtroopers, training them from childhood.
See, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Question about that.
Yep.
When did they go, you know what, clones? Psh, no,
Yeah.
you know what we need? Abduction of children.
Yeah.
Why? Why couldn't they just go back to the Camino people and be like, yo, can you make us more people?
A good question. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I know that in Star Wars canon, Palpatine decommissioned the clones at the end of the Clone Wars, and that some of them continued to serve into the military, but they stopped producing clones.
The way I've always imagined it is, if I was Palpatine, as soon as I'm Emperor, like, in the top 5 things that I do is get rid of the cloners on Camino.
Yeah.
Because if...
Somebody else's weapon.
Yeah. Like, nobody's smarter than me, I'm the best, I'm absolutely tops.
Yeah.
But if I could get these people to make an army for me, probably somebody else can.
Didn't that happen? Wasn't there a clone rebellion at some point where that exact thing happened? The Camino, there were some clones on Camino that just rebelled, and they were just like, nah, none of that. And it was an actual thing. That's one of the reasons they ended up shutting down the...
I hadn't heard that.
I'm not sure, but that would
maybe
make sense.
That might just be part of Battlefront.
Yeah. But anyway, so they committed to building an overwhelming and technologically advanced military. So, which also we can see why, like, the TIE FOs have shields are kind of are somewhat better. Blah blah blah.
Well, they are better. They are 100% better. I mean,
Yeah.
the TIE Silencer, hot damn.
Yeah, the TIE Silencer is a perfect example of that kind of thing. Okay. As this is happening, and this is, again, we have no information on this, Snoke emerges to become the leader of the First Order. We don't know his background. We know he's a dark side user. He's not Sith. We know that he was around the time of the rebellion and prior to that, so he's been living for a long time. How he came to be the Emperor, the Supreme Leader, we don't know.
And what does it matter anymore?
It doesn't matter because he's in 2 parts.
Could have been an Inquisitor.
Could have been.
Could have been a reincarnation of the Emperor.
Could have been.
Could have been Anakin.
Yep.
Could have been a bunch of things. But instead they went with 2 pieces.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. But anyway, so as this is happening, the First Order is going, and the key to this, why the New Republic was so unprepared, was because they were doing this in secret. They was secretly rearming as well, so they controlled the space. They were also at the same time engaged in various activities. First of all, to get cash, to get credits. They encouraged and worked with criminal gangs across the galaxy in smuggling and weapons dealing and slave trading and all the rest of it. So they were generating revenue, bringing in cash through all these activities, and would actually set up criminal gangs as a front for these activities as well.
No, really?
Yeah. They were also involved in...
wow, that's super dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't think the First Order could get more bad guy-ish. They're like, nah, let's go full gangster as well.
That's right.
We can't just be Nazis, we also have to be gangster Nazis.
Yeah, gangster Nazis.
That sounds like a really bad movie from from the 60s. Gangster Nazis.
Gangster space Nazis from the unknown regions.
Zombie gangster space Nazis.
Oh no! Wow, what is current Star Wars?
We're not that far now. And at the same time, they're also now starting a massive disinformation campaign because there is still a lot of uncertainty and turmoil as the New Republic is trying to establish itself. So they're out there also establishing allies with people who are sympathetic to the old empire. They're also out there bribing people. They're also out there pushing fake news and stuff like that. So they're involved, as you can see, they're playing the long game.
And it worked. Because at the end of the Last Jedi, when Leia calls for aid, everyone's like, we're good.
I don't even watch CNN.
Yeah, so if we talk about the society and economy of the First Order, I would say it's basically a slave state for everybody. There is a few people at the very top. There's the Snokes, there's the Huxes, there's the Wrens, and there's the elites, all the rest of it. Everybody else exists to serve the state. And it's a brutal society based on exploitation. And we get hints of that, like, they go out and kidnap populations, the children from other worlds, and turn them into stormtroopers. To live in the First Order, you are constantly surrounded by propaganda and media and all that kind of stuff, talking about the greatness of the First Order and how evil the New Republic is.
And that's why we have great upgrade cards like
fanatical devotion. Yeah.
Also, aren't the people in the First Order tweaked pretty much all the time?
Yes. Yeah.
What?
They're like on drugs most of the time.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you take drugs enough, you get sick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did not know that at all. That's cool. But not cool. That's just a nice little addition.
Yeah.
How do I nicely say that's really cool thematically, and not also sound like a druggie?
Yeah.
What an interesting narrative. I'm glad it's not part of my real life.
Yeah.
That's one.
Dissent is brutally suppressed. So even if there are people attempt to riot or to protest, that's why I have the riot troopers. You know those guys with those kind of... Traitor! So that's a riot trooper. Those guys are everywhere. They're like smacking people down all the time. We also know that they go out and they just basically strip mine planets of their resources and leave the population with pretty much nothing. Cool. So they're sort of just doing that kind of stuff. There is the military is the reason why the First Order exists. There is no difference between civilian or military society. It is the one thing. To the point people's identity is completely subsumed, where only a few people in the military actually have a name. Most of them have a serial number. They don't have names to, again, enforce that you are part of a collective. You are just a cog in the First Order's military machine. All the rest of them. Now the question is, the questions we're talking about is, and again, so thinking about this, and again, not to be an apologist or kind of or sandpaper over criticisms of some of the law and some of all the rest of it. So this is just my thinking about, okay, what are the questions is like, first of all, just how the hell did they get to be such an imposing, serious threat?
I get it now.
Yeah.
Disarmament.
Yeah.
Don't disarm me population.
Don't disarm.
One of my favourite games is Civ 5, and my favourite way to win Civ 5 is by science.
Yes.
But I always have a massive army.
Yes. Just in case.
Sitting inside my territory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
I don't go out with it.
Yeah. Oh no, that's right. If you're playing the Romans and the Huns are just sitting over the hill, you're not going to go, hey.
Yeah.
I don't see any problem here.
I don't see any problem here. All of you, take your shields home. Go become clay makers. I don't know.
Turn those swords into plowshares. We have nothing to worry about. Oh dear, we just got run over by a hunted tribe.
It actually, since saying that, it genuinely makes more sense to me now. Like when the First Order show up, and they just sort of appear. Yeah. In the first movie, like it's just apparently there. Yeah. It really makes more sense. Like, they have a fleet.
Yeah. Well, so we think
no one else does.
So the First Order didn't just. Well, if you think about the lore, they didn't just appear. So it's built upon the fact that you had Palpatine's contingency plan. You had the infrastructure that was started there. You had a mass migration of former Imperial officials and soldiers and military going to the region, and then you had a society that was dedicated to one thing only, and all its resources, all its personnel, all its efforts is very much dedicated to doing the one
thing. So what's their end game?
Again, it's to re-establish control over the galaxy.
So the Empire didn't have control of the galaxy in the way the First Order seemed to. The First Order seemed to be like, everyone is a number.
Yes.
Also, mind this for me. Also, shoot this other thing, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
But
So
the First Order is sort of culty in a way, which the Empire wasn't.
The Empire were just, hey, we're the ones in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
baddies.
the Empire. Look, if I got the impression the Empire was kind of like. Look, if you were kind of like an ordinary human on Coruscant and just hanging out, you're fine. But if you're a Wookiee, you're going to get enslaved to build the Death Star and all the kind of rest of it. I'm not trying to excuse the Empire, but the First Order is, if you like, a more fanatical, more extreme.
So they take the things about the Empire and just be like, let's just amp that up.
Let's turn up to 11.
It was clearly working then.
Yeah.
Let's just make it work more.
Yeah, it's kind of like, look, if we were fascist then, but if we're just a little bit more fascist.
If everyone believed a little bit more.
If you clap your hand, it will really happen. It's sort of like, so that's what it is. So it's just, so if you like, and sort of
so like they had slave trade. We're gonna abduct people as babies, and they won't be slaves anymore.
That's right.
That's how you stop slave trade.
That's right, exactly. So,
abduction.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the law.
Bad people.
So anyway, so that's it. That's my law section on the First Order.
Speculation. What do you think is going to happen in the next movie?
Look, speculation. I've seen some of the rumor stuff floating over there
because it went into shoots.
Yeah.
Like a week ago or something.
Look, I hope. I'd like to see a jump time forward. I'd like to see a more exploration of. Some of those themes to sort of what it really means. It's kind of like, okay, well, we set them up as the bad guys, but I guess I'd like to see that. I'd like to see what happens with what's his name, Kylo, in the role of Supreme Leader. What he makes of it. What kind of society does he make? What is his vision?
Lockie, what do you believe? What do you think is going to happen? / what do you want to happen?
Well, it's interesting because they've really set Kylo up as being conflicted. I feel the pull to the light, and I think when he sort of said, Rey, I want us to be friends, I think that was genuine. But like, does every single movie have to have the bad guy, learning the error of their ways and being redeemed somehow? Like, he has killed the leader of the First Order, become the leader of the First Order. I kind of want to see Kylo just being a bad dude and then losing.
Take a leaf out of Sheev Palpatine's book and just enjoy it.
I
put on the dark robes and enjoy it.
We know that Disney is going to continue this gravy train for quite a while.
Yeah.
I would really like... I mean, I said this about the last movie, and I really hope they do it. They probably won't, but I really hope they do. As you said, Lockie, I want Kylo to ease into this role. He's at the start of the series, he's conflicted. What if he just doubles down and says, I am the bad guy. I have killed everyone.
Yeah.
I am the bad guy. I get that. And then wins.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, but what's the point?
Another trilogy after that.
Another trilogy. Set that up. I mean, isn't that what happens?
I think I like it.
It sounds exhausting.
Because that's what happens in the prequel trilogy. The prequel. We all know that Star Wars is very cyclical.
Yes.
The prequel trilogy ends with the bad guys winning, and then the bad guys losing.
Yep.
And now what if the bad guys win again? It would be great.
It's not that kind of thing. There's a place for stories where the bad guys win, like 1984, one of the most classic stories of all time, where the bad guys win. But 1984, in a sense, is like a tragedy.
Just like this series of movies.
But this Star Wars.
I'm sorry.
Star Wars is supposed to be a beloved popcorn kind of franchise. Like, if the bad guys win, it's a waste of time. Like, a story, to me, yes, at the end of the day, pretty much any story you read, the good guy is going to win. The point is not knowing the good guy is going to win. The point is, tell me the story of how the good guy wins and make it a story I'll enjoy. If we get to the end of this trilogy and everything that's happened and everything that will happen ends with the bad guys winning, then it's going to feel like a waste of time. Like, there's all these people online are screaming like, "Oh, Rey should have joined him. You know, Rey should be about." I'm like, what would that have accomplished? Then who's the main character of the third one? It just doesn't. I don't know. The bad guys winning just seemed like a waste of time.
I would like the bad guys to win to set up the next trilogy so that it actually has some sort of depth.
Counterpoint: what if there was no next trilogy?
Oh, there will be because
Oh my god,
There will be.
there will be.
I'm sorry, but Disney has its fingers in it now.
I love Star Wars. I love Star Wars, but another trilogy, I don't know if I can deal with it.
Look, I see arguments on both sides there. I think, give me a good story, but more importantly, give me some goddamn more models. That's all I want. I want some more X-Wing models. And Disney, if you're listening, TIE Hunter. I'm just saying.
First order TIE Hunter.
First order TIE Hunter.
That reminds
An
me.
interceptor made of knives.
I've thought of before, but I forgot to say it. This whole thing with the rotating forward-backward firing arcs.
Yes.
What if they do make another Imperial ship moving on to second edition, and it's that TIE fighter from Solo with the cannons on it? What if that has a rotating forwards-backwards firing arc for the Imperials? Because now they don't have a two firing arc ship because the SF has gone to the First Order. So maybe they could put that in to the Imperials, and the cannon can kind of swivel forwards and backwards.
It'd be like the First Order TIE, except the First Order can't fire its missiles backwards, but this could.
I was thinking like a cannon slot, except you could fire the cannons backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
I dig that.
Cool.
But you can't fire its primary.
Yeah. Or something. I don't know.
Okay.
It's not a perfect science.
All right. Let's move on to close the show.
Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.
It's the end of the night. It's about 10 o'clock at night. I really should get home to my now fiance. But before I do, dear listeners, it's time for some shout-outs. Let's shout out initially to all our new Podbean followers. Hey, people, Murphy9106, Watermelon Girl, okay, A Fool's Paradise, which is just a really cool name, Jay Williams, Alex Memager?
Yep.
M. Wellman 1987. I don't think. I think he might be a young guy. That guy
Might be younger?
Might be younger than me.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you're the same age as me, and I was born in '89, so he's older than us.
Yeah, it was a bad joke. It was a joke that absolutely fell flat.
I didn't get it. I clearly did not get it. Okay.
Oh, and then someone, Alex Whitehead, also 1987.
Do you think they know each other?
I like to believe in my head canon they do. I ship them. Overgrown Ewok.
God, that's a good name.
That is a great name. I'd like Chewbacca.
Isn't that a Wookiee?
Yeah, Chewbacca walks in and it's like, damn, that's the biggest midget I've ever seen. And here we go. 6AC 146361603370239. Hello.
Is your name the decimals of pi?
At some point, yes, it would be.
No, he's in the First Order.
I'm just going to call you Sixack. Now, all new followers on Podbean. Ben,
Hello.
Yes. Ben Skywalker now following us on YouTube. Hello, we have YouTube.
Yes, we have YouTube.
Yes.
We don't post a whole lot on the YouTube, but it's basically this.
It's a mirror.
You're probably, if you're listening to it right now on YouTube, hello.
Hello. Press that like button.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, and what is it all this?
Like, subscribe, share. Clickbait, something.
Something.
Clickbait.
Something clickbait.
Yeah. Strider. Oh, hang on. No, you. There you go. Follow
Okay. So Strider Zessi, I hope I pronounced that correctly, commented on the YouTube video of us introducing ourselves. Good Lord, it's like listening, and he said, good Lord, it's like listening to Monty Python's Bruce's sketch all over again. Just kidding, I love you guys and everything you do. Tie Hunter, or we riot. Yes,
Yeah,
I like
agree.
this man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Ty Hunter, Roy Riot.
Yep.
Also, the Monty Python Bruce's sketch is just a classic.
Yep.
Jimmy Anderson gave us a really nice comment. Actually, it was so great. He gave us some feedback after we'd mentioned that we were thinking of doing longer episodes and what did everybody think. And he said it's fine if a podcast is longer as long as it's entertaining. So I don't know why he's listening to us, but also I see what you did there. He said that he likes that we're not pros like some of the others. That's a sort of. Yeah, we
market ourselves as that.
Yeah,
you know, we could be if we really wanted to be, get real deep in the numbers and oh yeah. But you know what? I just enjoy doing this.
Yeah.
Johnny Olive Lee and Dan Buckley,
Buckley,
squad builder.
Yeah, they sent us a link to a squad builder they made. We put it on our Facebook. There's a few.
Go check it out.
There's a few squad builders, sort of stopgap ones for second edition while we wait for the official one to come out. This is one that they made.
Good work, chaps.
My favourite squad builder for a couple of years now has been Aurora.
Yes.
I'm wondering if they'll make something for second edition, but we'll wait and see.
I think a number of them have said that they're not because of the app, but
yeah, it makes sense.
They would support up to the end. But anyway, I loved Aurora as well. I think, you know what, I appreciate all the work that people have done.
Oh yeah, can we shout out to all those people who just made them for free and didn't advertise on them?
As a community service, greatly appreciated.
It would have been so easy to put like a tiny banner ad in them or something, but they never did.
It's great.
And shout out to, as we have a couple of times before, but still shout out to Bruno from Millennium Condor because he's really cool and he keeps sending us stuff. He sent us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Shadowport Hunters. Ooh. And I'm going to give them all to you, Owen. They're yours.
I'm actually I'm collecting a bunch of these like 1.0 cards, and I now have a room in my house where is my hobby room, and I'm just gonna cover the wall with them.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
1.0 alt art cards. It'll be great.
I'm gonna cover a wall in TIE Defenders.
And Bruno, send us a link as soon as you finish the next episode of the Lore Master quiz, because I always listen to those. Thank you.
And last one to Timothy R for sending us a spoiler images.
Greatly appreciated.
Some of the stuff we got from Gen Con, came from Timothy.
Thank you, Timothy. Very much appreciated.
I would like to shout out to Maddie for agreeing to marry my good friend to the left. Why?
I mean, fair question. It's just a fair question.
You could do so much better.
No, he's a beautiful man.
Look, she knows she can do better. Also, she doesn't listen to this show, so tell her till you're blue in the face. She won't hear about
it. See, the part is where I can't say that sort of stuff because Cassie sometimes watches listens to this show. Like, all right.
I will also then say well done to Cassie and Owen.
Yeah.
As well. That's fabulous. So I'm happy for both you guys.
It's a very exciting event. But hot damn. Anyway.
So if anybody out there has recently gotten engaged, let us know.
We'll send you a Shadowport Hunter card.
Give it to your beloved. Yeah, honey, I got you this. It's from guys off the internet.
Oh, that's classic. All right, thank you everyone, and good night.